Google's own fans just told on themselves. And honestly, nobody saw this coming. Everyone assumed the cheaper, regular Pixel would be the one people lined up for. Instead, the phone stealing every headline right now is the most expensive one in the entire lineup. And it hasn't even been officially unveiled yet. Not a single official spec sheet, not a single hands-on. And yet, somehow, this phone has already won the argument before Google has said a single word on stage. Here's what's happening. Google has confirmed the Pixel 11 family is landing on August 12th in New York City. And 4 phones are coming to the stage: the Pixel 11, the Pixel 11 Pro, the Pixel 11 Pro XL, and the Pixel 11 Fold. 4 options, 4 different price points, 4 different types of buyers, built for 4 completely different kinds of people. You'd expect the crowd to split evenly. Maybe lean toward the affordable model like it usually does, because that's exactly what history tells us happens every single year. That's not what happened this time. Quick gut check before we go further. Which one were you already planning to buy before this poll came out? Drop that in the comments, because what actually happened might change your answer completely. A community poll with over 1,000 participants just dropped some numbers that flipped the script entirely. Nearly 45% of voters said the Pixel 11 Pro XL is the one they're most excited about. Not the base model, not the mid-tier Pro. The biggest precious phone in the lineup pulled almost half the vote, all on its own before a single official image had even leaked properly. The Pixel 11 Pro came in a distant second at around 33%, which still isn't bad, but it tells you the gap is real. And the standard Pixel 11, the phone that's supposed to be the crowd favorite, the phone that's supposed to win purely on price, only managed about 15%. 15%, that's not a close second place. That's barely a footnote. And then there's the Fold, the most unique, most expensive device Google makes. The phone that's supposed to represent the cutting edge of what Pixel can do, barely scraped past 8% of the vote. 8% out of more than 1,000 people who clearly care enough about this brand to vote in a poll about it in the first place. Sit with that for a second. That means the regular Pixel 11 and the Fold combined don't even add up to what the Pro XL pulled in on its own. 2 phones, one cheaper and one more advanced, still couldn't beat a single mid-cycle upgrade that hasn't even been confirmed yet. This isn't a small shift either. In previous years, the standard Pixel was always the safe pick. The phone people bought because it delivered enough performance for a lot less money. And that strategy worked. It's basically been Google's playbook since the Pixel line found its footing. That pattern appears to be breaking in real time, right in front of us. Buyers aren't chasing the cheapest option anymore. They're chasing the best one, even if it costs more. Even if it means waiting longer to save up. Even if it means walking past a perfectly good, cheaper phone sitting right next to it on the shelf. So, what's actually pulling people toward the Pro XL so hard? It comes down to 2 things people have wanted for years. 2 things that sound almost boring on paper, but completely change how a phone feels in your hand. Every single day: size and stamina. According to current leaks, the Pro XL is expected to feature a 6.88 in display, making it the largest screen in the entire Pixel 11 lineup. Compare that to the regular Pro, which is rumored to sit at 6.3 in. And the difference starts to matter a lot if you're someone who games, watches videos, or juggles multiple apps throughout the day. That half-inch gap sounds small on paper, almost negligible if you just read it as a number. But on a phone you stare at for hours every day, scrolling, watching, typing, gaming, that half-inch is the kind of thing you notice immediately. And more importantly, it's the kind of thing you keep noticing every time you go back to a smaller screen afterward. Then there's the battery, and this might be the bigger story of the two. Nothing is officially confirmed yet. No capacity number has leaked with any real confidence, but leaks point to the Pro XL once again carrying a larger battery than the standard Pro, continuing a pattern Google has followed in past generations. If that holds true, it means longer screen, on time, and better endurance for people who've been begging Google for exactly that for years now. And here's the thing about battery complaints specifically: they never really go away until a company actually fixes them. People don't forget a phone that died on them at 4 p.m. So, if this rumor is accurate, it could quiet one of the loudest, longest-running complaints in the entire Pixel community. A complaint that's followed this lineup for generations. But before you get too excited, before you go telling everyone this is a no-brainer upgrade, there's a catch, and it's a big one. If the current leaks are accurate, the Pixel 11 Pro XL might not be a massive upgrade over last year's Pixel 10 Pro XL. Reports suggest the camera's RAM, storage options, charging speed, and water resistance could all stay largely the same. Read that again, slowly this time. The parts of the phone people actually judge a flagship by: the camera system that ends up in every review headline, the memory that determines how long the phone stays fast, The charging speed everyone complains about at 11 p.m., with 8% battery left, might barely move at all. For a phone this expensive, sitting at the very top of the pricing ladder, that's exactly the kind of detail that usually sparks disappointment the moment it's officially confirmed on stage. So, where is the upgrade actually coming from if it's not coming from the usual places? It all funnels down to one single component, the new Tensor G6 chip. This is expected to be the centerpiece of the entire generation. The one piece Google is clearly betting everything on, bringing better performance, improved efficiency, and smoother AI processing across the board. There's also a rumor floating around about a newer version of Vulkan graphics support. And if that's true, it could genuinely be a turning point for this lineup. Gaming has quietly been one of the Pixel line's weakest areas for years, the kind of thing that gets brought up in almost every comparison video against other flagships. A legitimate graphics improvement isn't just a spec bump buried on a slide. It's Google finally addressing something fans have complained about generation after generation, year after year, launch after launch. Here's the twist that makes this whole situation genuinely strange when you step back and look at it. A phone that might barely change on the outside. Same cameras, same charging, same storage tiers, same water resistance rating, is still the one everyone's most excited about. More excited than any other phone in the lineup, including phones that are supposedly getting bigger jumps in features. Wait, seriously, people are ready to spend top dollar on a phone that could be essentially last year's design wrapped around a new brain. That tells you one of two things. Either Google has built an enormous amount of trust with this exact size and feature combination over the past few generations, enough that people are willing to buy on reputation alone, or people are simply desperate for literally anything to feel new. And a bigger screen with a new chip is enough to scratch that itch. And the wish list doesn't stop there. Not even close. Online discussions are full of hopes for thinner bezels, faster charging speeds, better low-light photography, improved video stabilization, an upgraded modem, and even under-display Face ID features that would genuinely close the gap between Pixel and its biggest competitors. Whether Google delivers on any of that remains completely unknown right now. But the fact that people are still hoping for surprises, even while already choosing this phone as their favorite before any of those surprises are confirmed, shows just how much goodwill the Pro XL name carries at this exact moment. Here's what this likely means depending on what phone you're currently holding in your hand right now. If you already own a Pixel 10 Pro XL, this might not feel like the leap you were hoping for, especially if the camera and charging specs really do stay frozen in place like the leaks suggest. You might look at this phone and think, didn't I already buy this last year? But if you're coming from a Pixel 9 Pro XL, an older Pixel, or you've never owned one before, the calculation changes completely. The Pixel 11 Pro XL could end up being one of the most compelling Android phones released this year purely because of that bigger screen, that improved chip, and whatever battery gains Google manages to squeeze in, even without a camera overhaul. Or are you holding out for the full package before you spend that kind of money? And if you want to be first in line for every leak, every confirmed spec, and every surprise Google drops before August 12th, go ahead and subscribe. It's basically your early access pass to everything happening before the rest of the internet catches